Rusty Cooley's Guitar Asylum TV is brought to you by the original Houston Gold Exchange, #1 gold buyer in Texas for over 30 years. Coming up on Rusty Cooley's Guitar Asylum TV. Hang out with Peppino D'Agostino for techniques and insight on what it takes to be the best. Then, warm up your fingers. Lick of the Week is coming your way. All that was Mike Ned and an exclusive concert performance. Only on the craziest place for the musically insane.
Hey guys, I'm hanging out with Peppino today. How you doing, man?
Good, and you?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you.
Nice to be here with you.
All right, awesome. Well, we're going to start off with some questions today, and the first one's kind of a heavy one. It's what's the difference in playing guitar and making music?
Well, nowadays there's like a lot of guitarists playing scales very fast up and down the neck, and also from a compositional standpoint, there's a lot of simplicity, in, that I see out there. I think the main difference is that a musician really understands the rules of music as far as harmonies and chord progressions. And also I think that a musician is somebody that uses the guitar as a medium and not necessarily the final destination, Right. So, I sometimes I get inspired by pianists, when I write, because some of the pianists that I listen to, they have a very deep knowledge as far as structures of songs and the architecture of music. A lot of people just write songs with an A and B section, but actually I've been listening to, for instance, minimalists such as Terry Riley or Steve Reich, and the composition really takes place after like 25 minutes. It's not necessarily something that will work commercially,
right.
But the difference in a nutshell is that you really have to have knowledge of music and theory and all of that, and so that way you can express a lot more through the guitar.
Sure. So you would definitely advise young and up-and-coming guitar players and musicians to really study music so that you can understand how chords and melody and harmony work, so that you're building something and not just hashing out.
Yes. And yeah, absolutely. Also, listen to different instruments.
Sure.
Not only guitarists.
Right.
Saxophone players for melodies, pianists for as far as understanding extended chords.
Sure. Violinists.
Violinists and also classical music.
Yeah.
I believe some people believe that from a harmonic and conceptual approach, there's nothing new after Bach. Some people believes in that. There's some truth in there.
Sure.
So listening to Bach and the masters, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, it's a good start.
Yeah. How did you gain your knowledge of music theory and all that stuff?
Thank you. I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
And so, but I had the chance to play with classical musicians, and I still do with a guitar orchestra, actually.
Okay.
And we do play Bach and Mozart arranged for this ensemble.
So you read?
I read music.
Awesome.
I taught myself how to read music. Of course, I'm not as fast as somebody
that
like
reads
a classic.
every day,
Yeah,
right.
but I'm fairly good.
Yeah.
I decided like 10 years ago to really do that, because
Yeah.
it's essential. If you want to communicate with musicians, you really need to know the language of
Okay,
music.
speak the language, yeah.
So, and tablature was not enough. You really need to
Yeah.
understand theory, and the only way to understand theory is to read music.
Right, and there's a fine art to reading. You know
Yes.
what I mean? It's something you have to spend time doing every day to become
Yeah.
fluent at it.
Absolutely, it's like reading normal,
Sure.
like reading a book.
Yeah.
This trained classical musician can read music like me, and like for me
Yeah.
reading a book.
Right.
They're so fast,
Yeah.
and also the best of them, they can actually hear the sounds as they see the notes.
Yeah.
They can hear the sounds not only of single lines but chords.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
impressive.
and it's beautiful, I
Yeah.
think, because it's like oh, okay, instead of reading, the chronicle of a newspaper, you actually read sounds, I
Yeah.
think is a beautiful
Yeah,
concept.
and to be able to read a chord and hear that chord,
Right.
that's
Isn't it
very impressive.
nice.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
That's awesome. All right, so you've been described as the guitarist. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think that they mean that guitarists come to my gigs,
Yeah.
which is an interesting thing because you can recognize them immediately in an audience.
Yeah,
Because,
they're the
you know,
guys back there going like this.
not like that, not like that. They're going like this.
Oh yeah. Impress me.
Impress me now.
That's pretty funny, but it's very true.
And I think that there's some people are some guitarists are so uptight, and because in the process of trying to steal some of the technique, they miss the point of listening to the music and abandon themselves to the joy of listening.
Yeah.
I used to do that, to really pay attention, close attention to other guitarists. I think it's important to do that, but it's like when you go to a concert and you're in charge of taking pictures of the concert. You're not listening to the music because you're busy doing
Right.
that. So guitarists sometimes come to concerts and then they miss the essential message of that song
Right.
because they pay attention. Okay, which fingering are
Right,
they
yeah,
using?
right.
So you can recognize them immediately because they're
Yeah.
like this.
So they missed the entire message completely by
Yeah,
being focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah,
sort
being
of.
yeah. Although it's also important for students and
Sure.
young players to really pay attention to the mechanic of playing guitar.
Right.
But that's not the ultimate thing. The ultimate
Yeah.
thing is really to be touched and moved by music,
Right.
either at an intellectual level or at a spiritual level, or both.
Sure.
In the best of the situations.
Yeah.
Up next, when the shred like the master, look at the week is after the break. Then, Peppino grabs his guitar and throws down. Only on the craziest place for the musically insane.